The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
New content?
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Acho que conteúdo novo. Peraí, não foi tu que colocou isso aqui?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Tá.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Sus.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Adventure. Bom, o elevador não se mexe. Eu acho que isso talvez seja um problema.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere?
Okay.
Here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
É bem alto, né?
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Estamos chegando no conteúdo. Calma, narrador. The Jump Circle.
All right, let's see. It's the Jump Circle.
A gente pula. Pera, eu tô gastando meus pulos. Eu não posso pular fora do pulo. Oh, no! Por que eu não posso pular fora do... Cara, é muita sacanagem.
Is that it?
Talvez.
Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator.
Mais um elevador.
Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes.
Ok, tem mais?
I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Faz super sentido essa ponte aqui. Thank you for enjoying the new content.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy
Exato, narrador. Vamos trabalhar junto agora.
Level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off
Eu
on this?
gostei do achievement, na
I'm
verdade.
infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
É claro, vamos xingar eles no Twitter. Isso vai dar certo.
I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about?
Para de resetar o jogo, pelo amor de
frills,
Deus.
No gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
É meio estranho tu me perguntar minha opinião e não esperar que eu fale ela antes de resetar o jogo. Ok, mas isso é novo. Isso é bem diferente. Nossa, por um momento eu achei que a gente ia conseguir entrar aqui. Mas eu acho que não. Ainda não enlouquecemos.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent.
Não.
I want to show you something.
Tu reseta o jogo sem meu consentimento.
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
Tá bom, eu vou. Que tem uma, se tem uma surpresa.
Never mind. You're not a dork.
Eu não sou um dork. Coffee Nut? Por que tem uma chave de Phillips? Isso não parece nada seguro. Sus.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be?
Uh-huh.
And it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be.
Uh-huh.
So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret.
Ooh.
Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone.
Memory Zone?
It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories
Que
so I
lindo.
can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want.
Que incrível.
Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Aham. Que incrível. Eu posso reviver minhas memórias favoritas. Uau.
You see,
legal.
Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was
Uh-huh.
before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched?
Lembra? Claro que eu
Back
lembro.
then, video games had
Todo mundo fazia
integrity.
vídeo.
Back then, it all meant something.
2013 e é 8:13. Uau! Nosso primeiro beijo, meu primeiro carro. The Release of Stanley Parable em 2013. Alguém tá um pouco preso no passado, não tá? Mind Control Facility. Esse cara com um cachorro que eu não sei quem é e talvez seja spoiler. Aham. The Original Remake. The Stanley Parable. Uau! Que incrível. Audience Awards. E será que ganhou esses prêmios mesmo? Collector's Edition. Olha isso, sim, é incrível. Sorria, porque aconteceu. Uau. Um CD. The United States of America. Isso é nota de $1? Tô tentando procurar algum easter egg, mas eu não achei. Que lugar incrível.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable.
É onde eu guardo os
Like this
reviews.
Stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com.
Aham.
James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley?
Amazing.
Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was.
Aham.
It
Foi
was
incrível o
literally
original.
every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them. And
Vamos
now
com calma.
it's nothing.
Por que não é
It's no
nada?
games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore.
Claro que é.
It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Eu adoro que isso é basicamente todo hipster de jogo que, quando fica muito popular, as pessoas falam que ele ficou ruim. Não é como antigamente. Não é mais o mesmo. Imagina, tem razão. Não deveria ter novo conteúdo.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before.
Ué, mas não foi tu que
What's this?
construiu?
What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here.
São as reviews da Steam,
Sure,
aham.
these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Aham, vamos dar uma olhadinha nos comentários das reviews da Steam. Pelo que parece, tá um pouquinho complicado. Não recomendado.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. funny? I'm not trying to be funny.
Oh!
I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable.
Por favor.
The game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Aham. Com certeza. A parte do unfunny é muito boa. Unfunny! Aham. Aqui várias reviews negativas jogadas. Manda eles pro circo, narrador, se eles querem coisa engraçada, não é mesmo? É isso aí. Vamos ver essa review aqui.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button. Well,
Ofendidíssimo agora.
Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt.
Um botão de skip seria bom.
Strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Ok, ele vai adicionar um skip button, aparentemente. Eu não posso pular, ok. Tá aqui o skip button.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue
Que a gente
full
nunca
of
vai ouvir.
unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise.
Eu vou pular de novo?
Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit.
Sim, tu tava meio chato já.
I start to go off on a thoughtless
E eu vou apertar de novo.
self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe
30 ou 45 minutos.
It's not unendurable by any means. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there.
Como assim 12 horas, bro?
Are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. Oh, Stanley, you're back.
Meu Deus, a planta tá morta já.
I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks.
Como?
I've been
2 semanas.
Just sitting here, not a single person to speak with.
Talvez é porque tu fala demais.
Just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing.
É porque eu tô cansado de ouvir.
Think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've all... Oh, hello. It's you. You're here
Sim, sou
again.
eu.
Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had
Eu imagino que tu
so
teve
much
tempo.
time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever
Um
sat
ano!
down in one place and not moved for one entire year?
Um
Let me
ano!
describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret.
Ele vai começar a descrever como é que é ficar um ano parado.
Missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret.
Eu vou
for the
apertar.
longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all.
O que faz agora? Uma década? Narrador, tu tá aqui atrás? Não? Narrador. Que é isso? O bombeiro tá vindo. Pelo amor de Deus.
Is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Ele tá parando?
Não,
ele não tá parando. Arranhou o disco do narrador. É assim que eu sei que a pessoa é pelo menos de 1990, quando ela usa a expressão arranhou o disco. Porque quando o disco tava arranhado, ele ficava repetindo, repetindo, repetindo. É assim que eu sei quando alguém é da minha geração. Enfim. O negócio não tá bom aqui. Cara, só deixa eu fazer um parênteses e dizer que... Bro, muito bom ter toda essa sessão dentro do jogo, do novo conteúdo do jogo, por causa de uma review que eles disseram talvez devesse ter um botão de skip. E eles criaram toda uma sessão de gameplay dentro da ideia de ter um botão de skip. Muito bom, velho. Muito bom. Mas enfim, já deve ter passado algumas eras aqui. Vamos lá. Ah, é um sol. Que gostoso. E eu não sei o que é isso. E eu não consigo passar pro outro lado. Narrador. Narrador. Oh! Bro, passou muito tempo aqui. Passou muito tempo. E o mundo voltou a ser merda de novo. Quando até o botão parar de funcionar? Acho que esse é o... Acho que esse é o meu menos favorito. Vamos sair daqui? Parece que eu tô entrando em vários multiversos diferentes, sabe? Skip button, o que aconteceu com você? Eu acho que eu não gostei muito desse multiverso. Caralho, o mundo acabou. Só temos deserto. New content. Temos novo conteúdo agora.
Oh, good. You noticed my slide.
Eu percebi.
Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Ele tá muito empolgado pra mostrar. Novo conteúdo, ok?
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further.
O que seria
Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
Stanley Parable 2? Hã? The end is never the end again.
Far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions. Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully
427, muito bom.
An entirely new experience built from the ground up. Why there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Os fãs querem Stanley Parable 2, Investor Showcase. Ele precisa de investidores.
Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Se tu diz? They're back. 2 doors. Sim. Olha, não vou mentir não. Esse espaço de trabalho parece ser muito bom, não parece? Stanley Parable 2. As diferenças de logo. Peraí. Não, peraí. Esse segundo logo não parece o de The Last of Us? Eu acho que eles estão pegando logos conhecidos, tá ligado? O tapete tem o piso do iluminado. Caralho, que saudade do iluminado, inclusive. Ok, vamos aqui, eu acho.
I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be. But let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Ok, vamos ver as novas features, então. Eu adoro esse banquinho aqui no cantinho. Olha que bonito!
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Ok. Tente algumas das novas features, tá? The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Então é o botão que fala o nome do jogador que está jogando o jogo. Ok.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want?
Too big, too small, just right.
The first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
O meu nome não é Jim.
I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name,
Mas
whatever name that is.
Meu nome é Lucas.
Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
My name is Jim.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim.
My name is Jim.
Falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim. Seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim.
My name is Jim.
Watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
Sim.
If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
Jim.
Oh, it hits even harder the second time.
Não é tão empolgante assim, narrador. É só botão que fala Jim. Infinite Hole. Nunca vai acabar. Ok.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game.
Nunca foi feito.
This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling.
Infinite
falling.
falling.
Until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Jerônimo?
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
E se eu não apertar? Eu posso me mexer no buraco? Foi o que ele disse.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top.
Não, eu quero confirmar para ver se ele é infinito de verdade.
Spectrum of things. Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole.
Eu tô achando que ele não é infinito.
I don't say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
E se eu ficar aqui? Tenho uma ideia melhor.
Great. Now, I'm very excited. Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much.
Foi o que ele disse?
A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of...
Eu gosto do barulho.
Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time?
Sim, ele pareceu bem menor.
I feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do.
Ou alguma coisa é infinita ou ela não é infinita. Não tem um negócio menos infinito que outro infinito. Não é assim que funciona, narrador?
I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite.
Não existe menos infinito.
I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep.
Na verdade, matematicamente falando, existem infinitos maiores e menores.
What's going on here?
Sério?
Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole... How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Não tá... Eu não tô funcionando. Não tá funcionando.
Teleport button not working?
Não, não tá funcionando. Eu tô arrependido.
Well, I mean, I really don't have
Me dá o botão de pular de novo de volta.
Just a moment ago. Try it again.
Não tá indo.
Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this.
Me dá pular.
Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else.
Não!
Take care, Stanley.
Tu vai me deixar aqui sozinho?
Have a wonderful rest of eternity.
Ele tá indo embora! Não! Me dá o botão de pular, pelo menos! Oh, não! Narrador? É que teve um barulho estranho. Narrador? Narrador? Narrador, o buraco tá... Ele tá descendo de novo. Acho que consertou. Narrador? Oh, no. Vai virar a Samara? Eu vou virar a Samara! Change your perspective? Change your perception. Let's go. Caralho. Agora mude a sua realidade. Eu vou mudar a percepção de... Ok, vamos mudar a realidade.
My head's stronger.
Ó. Ó, que fofinho. Change yourself.
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland.
Me tira daqui, pelo amor de Deus.
Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle.
Não. Volta aqui. Tu tava certo, o buraco é infinito. O buraco é infinito. Não.